Hola mi gente, ¿cómo están? Mi nombre es Alba, el canal se llama Serial, estamos aquí para hablar de libros, algunos de ellos en español desde Puerto Rico. Hello, my name is Alba. Channel name is Serial. We're here to talk about books and some of them in Spanish from Puerto Rico. And today's topic is going to be banned books because I was kindly tagged by Brian. It's his fault. I haven't filmed in so long that I don't understand the setup anymore, and why I'm having so much trouble. And my tripod broke. So yeah, at least the microphone still works. We're going to talk about banned books. I was all up in arms with all of the, the tag, read banned books, and even before the tag, even before Brian, gave us the assignment. I had been, reading up about it and watching the videos, and I was alarmed until I talked to my daughter who lives in New York City, and she calmed me down, and because I catastrophize immediately when things like this start. And she reminded me that this was going on in school libraries, in school districts, not in public libraries, because I thought, they were going to start taking books off the public library shelves. I should have known better because I had already seen Roxanne at Novel Sanctuary talk about it, and also Ashley at Bookish Realm. I'm going to link those tremendous videos down below because Ashley and Mara at Books Like Whoa and Bookish Bethany and somebody else that I forget, I'm sorry, had a wonderful live about the whole issue of banned books. I don't even know where I'm supposed to be looking. Anyway, here in Puerto Rico, in the colony, we don't have that problem because we don't have that privilege. We don't have, first of all, we don't have the educational organization, bureaucracy that you have as far as school districts and school boards go. We don't have that. The censorship is dictated from the central board, and for example, what would be banned or censored, or you would have limited access to? First of all, 46% poverty rate in Puerto Rico. So yeah, and one of the highest, most extreme examples of economic inequality in all the world. We're right up there in the top 10. So 46% of our population is not going to have access because they don't have the money to buy the books. I already told you in another video that books here in Puerto Rico are more expensive, especially books about and by Puerto Ricans, because most of them are printed off the island and then have to be shipped back on ships bearing the American flag, which are more expensive. So yeah, costs go up. One of the things that would probably be banned in Puerto Rico if we had school districts and school libraries, that's another thing. Even though I know that in the years since I've been a teacher, there have been more school libraries. When I was a teacher in Puerto Rico, there were very, very few school libraries, especially in the country where they were most needed. And don't even talk about public libraries. My public library here in the second city of Puerto Rico does not circulate books. Okay, no book circulation at all in the paltry collection of books that they have. So, but probably if we had privileged people, because that's another thing, I'm going to link the Daily Show. I think it's the Daily Show. No, it's John Oliver talking about CRT. And one of the school boards that has been publicized in all, the media, is the wealthiest county, the wealthiest school district in all the United States, limiting access. to people who don't have access in the first place. Let me calm down. The one my daughter was talking about that. This is happening in school districts, to school libraries, not public libraries. We have librarians and the association, you know, our librarians all over, here in Puerto Rico and in the United States, you know their stuff. You know, just look at the channels here on BookTube that are, you know, school librarians. You know, they're not going to let that happen. And neither should you. We'll get to that later. Brian, you sent me down a rabbit hole anyway. I saw all of, even, you know, after watching Roxanne at the Novel Library and Ashley at Bookish Realm and Mara and all of that, I saw practically all of the videos that booktubers have done about banned books. But in Puerto Rico, what has been, you know, of limited access to people? Well, mostly books written by political prisoners, for example, like Don Rafael Cancel Miranda. And I don't know if this is going to be flipped, whatever. Rafael Cancel Miranda spent many decades in jail after today's anniversary, March 1st, the attack on Congress, to call attention to the fact that Puerto Rico is still a colony after all these years. He was already sent to jail previously, for refusing to register for the draft. Yeah. Another book that would probably be banned in Puerto Rico is Pedro Albizu Campos' biography by Marisa Rosado, which unfortunately has not been translated. A las llamas de la aurora, acercamiento a su biografía. Yeah, in school, you know, when I was a school teacher in Puerto Rico public school, you didn't talk about Pedro Albizu Campos at all. This one, which I'm trying to finish, this is a rollover from last month, When the Spirit Stands Mambo, which is a diasporic memoir by Marta Moreno Vega, Afro-Boricua, who is very much involved in activism in El Barrio in New York City, and El Barrio Museum, which is an iconic institution in Spanish Harlem. But definitely, one that would have been banned, and I would ban it if I was, you know, a wealthy, conservative person here in Puerto Rico. I would definitely at least put every content warning ever on Barataria, which is a must-read. Barataria. It's a must-read. Had me cackling with laughter at the very beginning. Just, you know, it's in Spanish, it's not in English. Sorry. Don Quixote-like character who is on a quest in the southern part of the island to find a golden guanin, which is a Taino artifact. But he's a statehooder all the way, and it is hilarious. At the same time, he's like a 60-year-old Vietnam War veteran, which really tugged at my heart every time the author would mention it. Hilarious depictions of contemporary Puerto Rico, and then, boom, it hits you with very, very graphic depictions of violence in Puerto Rico. Violence of all kinds, all kinds. This would, you know, carry every single content warning that you could imagine this one has. But would I personally, Alba, censor this book and limit people's access to it? No, I wouldn't. But then again, I have that privilege, right? I didn't retire here. I retired in the United States, and I have that kind of pension. My pensions aren't threatened like teachers' pensions are threatened here under the fiscal board. So, you know, read banned books. Yeah, fine. I have, you know, I have them. I have Kindred, and I have Mouse, and, you know, I just received this beautiful book, All Boys Aren't Blue, and the other one that he wrote, We Are Not Broken, and Stamped from the Beginning, which I read. It was wonderful. And I just got Critical Race Theory, which we're going to be reading on Instagram with Honore, the one from Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. Yeah, that's not the issue. The issue is really what Jason Reynolds says in his interview, which I will also link in the description box below, in his conversation with Steven Colbert. It's a question of access. You know, the wealthy parent activists at these school board meetings, their children can use their credit card and, you know, just buy the book or get it online. The ones who will not be able to read the books and will probably need to read the books are poor kids, poor families. You know, so, yeah. This is an issue again of the privilege of being able to read. Because in the colony, some people will, Puerto Ricans don't read enough. Well, Puerto Ricans aren't rich enough. 46% of us are not rich enough to be able to afford books. I don't do manicures, I don't do pedicures, I don't, you know, my car is old and I'm not going to buy a new one. So my money goes to used books, mostly. Used books. Thank heaven for USPS. And, you know, that parcel post rate. So as I was looking, again, my conversation with my daughter, who calmed me down. This is happening in school libraries. It's not in public libraries. And so I looked at the list. Britta's, I was watching all of them, but Britta's included the list of ALA's, you know, most challenged books. And I noticed, you know, censorship and banning books in the United States is a time-honored tradition, right? They've been banning books forever, you know, trying to tell people what to read and what they can't read. And who are making these decisions? Again, I will link John Oliver's video on CRT where it, you know, the mother even says, the activist mom even says, we're the richest county in the United States. You know. Stop. So, it's a question of getting involved, people. You know, if you're going to let people be on the school boards, if you're going to let these people be on your city councils, if you're going to let these people get elected to these posts, what can you expect? If you're going to, you know, just buy the book and stay quiet about it, yeah, what can you expect? At least go to your PTA meetings and make yourself heard. You know, there are probably many other people who are quiet, who are waiting for somebody to raise their voice about this. You know, as some of the students, I will link that video also, the students in York, Pennsylvania, who have voiced, who have protested about this. Yeah, but what did the people do there? What did the school board do? Yeah, stonewalled them. Yeah, we're going to investigate, which is what they do. Get involved, people, so that at least you can recognize these tactics that they use. Okay? I'm not surprised. It's a time-honored tradition in the United States to tell other people what to do. Okay, I think that's all for now. Please follow the hashtag that Brian has set up, and also all the other videos here on YouTube that talk about banned books. Very, very enlightening and educational experience. Yeah, another one that probably would have been banned here in Puerto Rico. Capitalism and Slavery by Eric Williams. Okay, cuídense mucho, mi gente. Los quiero mucho. Adiós.